Welcome to the Intrazone, a Roadmap Pit Stop March 2025 edition. This is a bonus monthly show that answers that burning question in your mind. What is rolling out now for SharePoint and related technology in Microsoft 365? I'm Mark Cashman, Senior Product Manager at Microsoft, here to help you set the ongoing record straight. This month, we'll focus on SharePoint and related technology that landed into Microsoft 365, share a few related items, and tease out the always fun teasers looking into next month. I'm also going to share some insights into the recently wrapped SharePoint Hackathon, where we released a new video learning series, got inspired, reviewing 91 community submissions, and, of course, celebrated the hackathon winners. In all, this podcast is your 30-minute pit stop to stay ahead of the ever-curving Microsoft 365 roadmap. All right. It is time to kick back and get informed about all that rolled out in March 2025. We are going to start with employee engagement, all those wonderful features that help you be the best communicator, especially when you're at the end result of something, communicating from one to many, and hopefully across multiple devices, multiple endpoints, communicating with ease. Our first item in employee engagement is you can now create pages with Copilot in SharePoint. Paging Copilot, Copilot, paging Copilot. We are excited to announce the release of page creation with Copilot in SharePoint. Paging with Copilot. So get the value of Copilot, generative AI plus Microsoft Graph, which means using your existing Word, PowerPoint, PDF, and Loop documents as the source of grounding data when you're creating a new page. This makes page creation fast and easy, and it's fun because you get to work with a wonderful assistant, Copilot. With built-in templates and design ideas, Copilot helps you create visually appealing, engaging pages while consistently meeting your organization's standards. To do this, it's very easy. You select the plus new button that's located in the upper left of the SharePoint site, and then choose Page with Copilot. You can then use out-of-the-box designer-curated templates, or by entering specific instructions using the open prompt box at the top. This is a little bit like a choose-your-own-adventure Mad Lib style prompt building. Then you just sit back and watch Copilot crunch through the content that you pointed it at and create a new page that's ready for you to refine in edit mode and ultimately publish faster. This was a key feature on my own hack during the SharePoint Hackathon. I took on the role of somebody hacking out there so that I could learn myself. Having watched the learning series, I certainly picked up a few new tips, this being one of them. Even though I wasn't eligible for the contest, I did take the time to learn a few new tricks from my peers, including starting my hack by creating the foundational page that I wanted to create with the help from Copilot. I pointed it at one Word document and one PowerPoint, and it did a wonderful job combing through it and generating the page not from scratch, but from work that I had already done to create a page that was ready for me to review, add things to, and of course, eventually publish. And then I showcased that during the hackathon just for fun in the last webinar, but certainly was a testament to being able to do something very easily with existing content. So Copilot and I hacked together, and so can you. There's a great new set of FAQs and some tips and tricks and a video that I'll have in the blog post so you can see this one in action. And if you have access to it with the Copilot license, absolutely give it a try. Next up, Microsoft Viva Connections is getting a new news feature as you experience it in Microsoft Teams. We are taking this step to evolve the feed experience in Viva Connections within Microsoft Teams. Instead of a singular feed, you will soon see an expanded SharePoint news experience, which is essentially a fresh, new look that simplifies news visibility and consumption. The news flows in based on sites you follow or frequently access, plus posts from people that you work with and other trending sites, always within the boundaries of news you have appropriate permissions to see. And if a news item is audience targeted, the news feed will honor that and filter out news items accordingly. Boosted news and news from your organization's news sites will always be prioritized at the top of this news feed. It's interactive too, so you can like news items and save them for later. Note, this change will be on by default and applies to Viva Connections in Teams for the Windows desktop, Teams for iOS and Android, and Teams for the web, with one exception. This rollout will also include a Microsoft 365 Copilot-powered summary experience, initially only available in Teams for the Windows desktop. Unique to Microsoft 365 Copilot license users is an additional option to generate a Copilot summary of the top 10 or fewer news items in a person's news feed. So effectively, it helps you read the news a little bit faster, summarizing across multiple news items. There's a great article and video that accompanies this one, so definitely check out the related blog post so you can see it in action and see what the new feed experience is for news in the Viva Connections homepage within Microsoft Teams. Next up is very specific to what we started with SharePoint agents. One of the pieces of feedback we got early on was this curiosity of being able to actually see the usage patterns with SharePoint agents. And I'm happy to report that there is a new usage reports through PowerShell where you can see how SharePoint agents are being used in this trial period. So coming soon in Microsoft 365, SharePoint and global admins will be able to use a Microsoft PowerShell commandlet to review tenant-level usage data for the SharePoint agents currently in trial through June of 2025. The new PowerShell commandlet, which is get-spo Copilot promo usage, will show usage data of SharePoint agents at the tenant level, including total trial queries that have been used, trial queries that are remaining, and trial queries that are available in tenant. This report will show historical data starting from January 2025 when the SharePoint Agents trial started. If you haven't yet signed up for the SharePoint Agents pay-as-you-go trial, there's still time. The trial period lasts until June 30th, 2025. Next up, SharePoint gets a new table toolbar. The SharePoint user interface design team reviews a ton of usage data to determine what is easy for people to find and use and what may be challenging or could use a boost in visibility and clarity. So, in March 2025, the team introduced an easier way to work with tables within the text web part, a pretty common feature when you're wanting to establish a set of information in a simple table or not a simple table. There's a lot of things you can do with tables in a text web part. And this new table toolbar allows authors to use more easily and refine the table functionality. So all the things that are already existed, you can certainly expect them to be a little bit more front and center and of course available. You'll see a menu that is always in focus when working on a table, and it's responsive design to boot. The table toolbar will automatically adjust by expanding and compressing based on the section layout that's being used. And when compressed, the table options move into an overflow ... ellipses type menu. To see this in action, drop a text web part on your SharePoint page and insert a new table. Within the table toolbar, you can do all the table editing and formatting, including change the layout, add, delete rows and columns. You'll see new table features like merge, split, add space before and after, and others. One thing to note, this new table toolbar is available when working in SharePoint and Viva Amplify. So the next time you work with tables in SharePoint, you are going to find it much more intuitive and faster to design the exact table that you need within your SharePoint page. Last, for employee engagement, paired with a new Adobe-powered update, OneDrive and SharePoint get a new annotation layout and tools for editing PDFs. The data proves it every time. People love PDFs, and we love making it easier to view and work with PDFs. We're fans of Adobe just like you. So we introduced a new PDF annotation layout that features a more intuitive design. All the annotation tools will be in a single row at the top of the screen to add text, draw, highlight, and now it includes a new type of eraser that can remove pen and highlighter annotations pixel by pixel. So really nice, super refinement. You love your PDFs. We love that you love your PDFs. And now you can love annotating your PDFs with great ease and flexibility, all while maintaining the original content storage service location, which is SharePoint in Microsoft 365. So get on those PDFs, make your annotations, and make them with greater ease and flexibility. All right, now that we're hopping out of employee engagement, I wanted to take a little bit of time to celebrate the SharePoint Hackathon, which has come to a close with a glorious award ceremony finale where we celebrated the winners and highlighted a lot of the work that everybody did across the world. We had an overwhelming number of submissions on this hackathon, and it was great pleasure to review the submissions during this past several weeks, culminating in announcing the winners. The SharePoint Hackathon was a 2-week-long online event with 6 live learning series webinars. We had office hours and the competition to submit designs and solutions which were built with or for SharePoint. We had 4 different official submission categories, and many submissions were valid for numerous categories. Judging was performed by the feature owners from Microsoft for their specific categories. So it was really great for them to see how people were using SharePoint to hack SharePoint to participate in the SharePoint Hackathon. And I'm pleased to announce, again, this was already announced, but want to reiterate here because they did a lot of wonderful work, the winners. And in the first category, which was the most beautiful intranet home, big congratulations and kudos to the marketing and communications department site and custom editorial page creators who are Richard Plant and Malika Limbu. The second category, most creative use of SharePoint agents. The winner was the Capgemini Hackathon entry, an insurance company's process streamlined through SharePoint agents. This was delivered by Kuntal Chakraborty, Pratam Malik, Shnihash Das, and Sudipta Kumar Bazu. Congratulations on showcasing a great way to use SharePoint agents. Next category, most useful Viva Connections dashboard. This was by the team Poston, who brought SharePoint intranets and Viva Connections dashboards to a really wonderful level. This was Stian Svedsen, Omar Khan, Harsh Damanya, and Kier Hostad. It was really great to see how they built into the dashboard experience a really wonderful employee experience, very engaging. The last category, most creative intranet with extensibility, leveraging the SharePoint framework. The winner created the AppV dashboard, and those folks were Fabio Franzini and Angelo Guliciano. Congratulations to all the winners. If you want to see all of this in action, we have a great post-event blog with a lot of great visuals, both to point you in the direction to all the learning series if you also want to learn how to hack SharePoint, but also see all of the hacks. Each of these winning categories has a highlight video showcasing what it is that they created and some of the runners-up. So you get to see a lot of SharePoint in action. And finally, I just wanted to say thank you all for being a part of the SharePoint Hackathon. It really generated a lot of great feedback, great visuals, and a lot of interest in terms of what are people doing with SharePoint. We put a little bit of guideposts with the categories and some of the rules, but it was really great to see that the community lit up all these wonderful things that you can do with SharePoint to bring home what it is that you can do in your intranet with agents through community-oriented and employee-oriented dashboards, and of course, the extensibility side. So it really showcased a lot of what everybody can do with SharePoint, no matter what your skill set was. So again, thank you for being a part of the event, and that I hope it is something that we do again in the future. Next up, let us move into teamwork. When you're doing that day-to-day work with your peers, you're getting a lot of review and approval and getting projects done and certainly moving things forward, but maybe not yet finished. So there's a lot of chat and collaboration back and forth. The first item, you can now add approval workflows to any list or library in Microsoft 365. It is now time to leverage the power and simplicity of lightweight approvals on any list or library with a few simple clicks. We all know that SharePoint and Teams seamlessly integrate across files, lists, loops, and pages, and now we're excited to release the latest integration, SharePoint plus the Teams Approval app, which brings you fast, easy approval tracking business solutions, again, to any list or any document library. A single toggle will get you started creating a new approval column, essentially setting the foundation for a new review and approval automation. Once enabled, you can specify the approver for the file or list item, submit a request which will appear in the Approvals app in Teams, or can be approved directly in the document library or list in that new Approvals column. Once approved, the metadata updates in the Approval Status column. You can create, approve, reject, and cancel all within the scope of the review and approval as it's being kicked off and during the middle of it, without leaving your content or the context of your Teams-based conversation. There's a lot of smarts behind what's going on that keeps things on track, avoid any list or library edits during the review process, and notifications are built in so everybody's very aware of where things are. Last, I approval this feature. I've used it a few times now, and it works great, works nice. It's easy to set up and configure. If once you do it on one list, then it's there for you to use for all your list items. Same for document libraries. You can leverage it for any document to put it through a nice review and approval process with a lot less manual processing. Next up, manage SharePoint pages using the left navigation pane. So let me be clear about this. There's a new experience that we call the SharePoint Start page. This is often the very first thing that you have when you click on the SharePoint logo in the app launcher. So when you're on the SharePoint Start page, there's a new experience for creating SharePoint pages. Not only can you create new pages, navigate to recently edited sites, and duplicate existing pages, you can now use the left navigation pane to filter pages related to various sites. Once you click on a specific recent site, you can then create a new page for that site right from the broader SharePoint Start experience. This is going to save you a number of clicks to get into the site to then create the page, and it'll keep things in context because you might sometimes be hopping around, navigating from site to site, simply to either create pages or to find the content that already exists as you're hopping through looking for what it is that you're looking for. A quick FYI here, to see all SharePoint sites which you've started or published pages to, just go to the View All Sites at the bottom of the recently edited list, and then it's all there. With this new feature and the previously mentioned Pages with Copilot, our goal is to make sharing SharePoint pages, creating SharePoint pages, and of course, rediscovering them a lot more easy and intuitive. We would love your feedback as this expands the SharePoint Start experience, now making it a lot easier to navigate what you want to do or have done with SharePoint pages. Next up, optical character recognition, OCR, for OneDrive. Images speak 1,000 words, and with those words, you can do a ton, especially when your system or service is aware of them. We're excited to announce a new capability in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center that allows administrators to enable OCR for OneDrive. You turn on OCR for selected OneDrive groups and users, or enable it for all OneDrive users within your organization. You get an OCR, and you get an OCR, and you get an OCR if you choose to govern like Oprah. But truly, you can scope it to how you would like this feature to be enabled and available. And once it's enabled, this enhancement ensures that all files become searchable, improving discoverability and supporting compliance initiatives such as e-discovery, because with OCR turned on and available in OneDrive, of course, you get a lot more information about each individual file based on what the OCR can detect, because it becomes then text that's searchable. And once it's in the search engine, you can do a lot of wonderful things. One note here is the OCR is a pay-as-you-go feature. Turning on the OCR feature will incur costs for the organization. There's a lot of value in having this available, and certainly weigh the options of having maybe a very image-heavy environment have a lot of value pulled out of those images for use above and beyond what it is that you get just from the image itself. That is it for teamwork. We're going to move into the related technology section. First up is just awareness of what we've just recently introduced, which is the Windows Roadmap. The Windows Roadmap shares what features and improvements are coming to Windows 11 to help you manage change for Windows Desktop, especially if you are an admin. This is a wonderful place to get eyeballs on. You can use this roadmap to see what's coming to the Windows Insider program, what's gradually rolling out, and what's generally available with estimated release dates. Same as the Microsoft 365 public roadmap, this is really honed in on learning about what's coming next for Windows. You can filter on specific versions of Windows, you can navigate through the different release channels, device type, or the latest status. The Windows roadmap provides estimated release dates and descriptions for features being released. Some features and applications may not be available in all regions or all languages, and of course that's great to know. And as a feature or a product release is postponed or canceled, information will be updated on this website. So track features like recall, click to do, improved Windows search, live captions, and a lot more. They're all in there in the Windows roadmap, and you will see them as they track through their release cycle and eventually onto your Windows device, and you'll have a wonderful window into the Windows roadmap. Just type in aka.ms/Windows roadmap, and this will take you to this nice new Windows roadmap website. Next up, in the land of Copilot announcements, introducing Researcher and Analyst in Microsoft 365 Copilot. March 2025 revealed two first-of-their-kind reasoning agents for work, Researcher and Analyst. So to start, Researcher helps you tackle complex, multi-step research at work, delivering insights with greater quality and accuracy than previously possible. Analyst thinks like a skilled data scientist, so you can go from raw data to insights in minutes. Analyst uses chain-of-thought reasoning to progress through problems iteratively, taking many steps as necessary to refine its reasoning and provide a high-quality answer that mirrors human analytical thinking. Each of these analyzes vast amounts of information with secure, compliant access to your work data, your emails, meetings, files, chats, and more, and the web to deliver highly skilled expertise on demand. There are two wonderful videos so you can get to know a researcher and the analyst and see them in action and start to weigh out how they might build out your value and use of Microsoft 365 Copilot. Next up, Microsoft 365 subscribers can now experience Copilot in OneDrive, aka new Copilot value within our Microsoft 365 personal and family subscriptions. Your subscription unlocks AI credits to experience Copilot across Microsoft 365 apps and beyond. As a refresh, or if you've not heard about this side of our personal and family subscriptions, Microsoft Copilot is an AI-powered digital assistant designed to help you with a range of tasks and activities. It can create drafts of content, recommend different ways to reword something you've written, suggest and insert images or banners, create PowerPoint presentations from your Word documents, and many other helpful things. And now, we bring new Copilot features available to subscribers on the web version of OneDrive. Consumers can now get more out of their OneDrive files utilizing the power of AI. You get information to help you make decisions and get work done quickly without opening a file. Less time in your files means more time with loved ones. So now you can expect to summarize, compare, get questioned answers, all the wonderful things that if you're starting to learn about Copilot, now being able to do it in the work and life side of it is very, very helpful. Simply click on the Copilot button to choose from a menu of suggested actions or ask your own question. You can select up to 5 files and click on the Copilot button in the command bar to get started. Whatever you need from OneDrive, Copilot is just a click away within your personal world. This is work and life coming together from a Copilot perspective, but a really nice focus of new capabilities within your personal side of life, within OneDrive. There's a great getting started guide and a related blog that will give you tips and tricks on how to get started with Copilot in OneDrive in the personal side of things. Let us move on to the near future, one that predicts with high certainty. Let's focus on the future that's just around the corner of our calendars. Here are 2 teasers for what's coming in April 2025. Teaser number 1. Microsoft Viva Connections cards in SharePoint agents. Just think about that. those two things coming together. The cards that you create in Microsoft Viva Connections bubbling up through the conversation with SharePoint agents. Pretty cool. Teaser number 2. Use SharePoint Quick Steps to automate common tasks and workflows. You're going to see these in a number of places, and it's going to just be like automating the heck out of your work, your lists, your libraries, and it's really a nice, quick fashion to be able to automate more of what you do in your work life. There'll be more on that next month. That is it with this month's peek ahead. Of course, more details to come within the SharePoint Roadmap Pitstop April 2025 edition, which will be coming out next month. We've added a lot more Learn links per feature, plus a list of important resources in the show notes and in the corresponding blog post on the Microsoft Tech community published to the SharePoint community blog. I hope you've enjoyed this Roadmap Pit Stop. Pump the brakes. It is time to relax knowing that you are all caught up. If anything still leaves you scratching your head with open questions or concerns, please send us your thoughts and comments to theinterzone@microsoft.com. We're here to put our and your best change management foot forward, and thank you for taking that step with us into the cloud month after month. This is Mark Cashman saying, use Copilot at work and life on the roadmap ahead.